Yes, my viewers and subscribers, welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. In this episode, we are going to be uncovering this man, Peter Bunting. If anybody knows Peter Bunting, they know that Bunting is a character assassin and he is deliberate on character assassination. He doesn't only do that to people like Vybez Kartel. He does it to people within the politics, in the JLP and in the PNP. He does it to bloggers. He pays media houses to run character assassination stories on people. And I'm going to show you how horrible this man is. And I would make no reservations in referring to him as the most evil, wicked, calculated, heartless, narcissistic person in the politics right now in Jamaica. Now let us start out with what Bunting did to Vybez Kartel. And I must first make it clear that I have no affiliation with Vybez Kartel and I am not a Gaza fan by any means. Now guys, we all remember when Vybez Kartel was first arrested and facing charges of murder, right? I think he was on like 2 counts on suspicion or whatever with the investigation. And just around that time, he hadn't been convicted yet, but just around that time, Peter Bunting was the security minister and he was doing a presentation in Miami, Florida. Do you know, guys, that in that presentation, when scamming was first flaring up in Jamaica, remember the scamming did wicked in Jamaica them time there. And instead of Bunting coming to the diaspora, telling them what he plans to do about the scamming and, what his plans are as security minister and talk about the root of scamming, how it came about and the people them what indulge in it and the characteristics of a scammer, Bunting presented to this audience of Jamaican people and some Americans Kartel and Gaza Slim. He presented a song on the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, the song where Kartel and Slim was singing about scamming. And he presented that to the diaspora to say that Kartel is the one who is corrupting the scammers and perpetuating scamming in Jamaica. Remember that Vybez Kartel has never been called a scammer, charged for scamming, or accused of being an affiliate of scamming, right? We can agree, we know that he was accused of murder, yes, but never has this man been affiliated, implicated in scamming. So that's what he did before Kartel went on trial. So if Kartel had a good lawyer, that lawyer could have made a successful point that the Minister of National Security, Peter Bunting at the time, corrupted the minds of people and biased the minds of people against his client by going to the diaspora as the security minister, painting his client out to be a scammer, which he was not charged for. But I guess his defense was weak at that time. Now listen to what Peter Bunting did, singling out Kartel and Gaza Slim for scamming. And as he said, he was targeting, he said that, look at the screen, he was targeting the dysfunctional elements in the Jamaican society.
Now, that is a very catchy song, right? Now, imagine the impact that makes on the kids this side. They're starting to be literally brainwashed from their 5, 6, 7 coming up. Again, for those of you who may not know, this is Vybez Kartel. He's currently a guest of mine in the correctional services.
Now, guys, I am a mother, and where music is concerned, I am responsible for what my child listens to and the type of music that my child consumes. I can't control people who call themselves artists doing music. They're going to sing about what they sing about, and I'm going to raise my child how I raise my child. So For Bunting now to be saying that Kartel influences these young boys that he puts up on the screen, we cannot do that without talking about the responsibility of parenting, you know? So rather than use his position as National Security Minister to talk about the issue at hand, he takes one of dancehall own to bring to the diaspora and put the blame on that person for perpetuating scamming based on a song that he did. Now, guys, wanna tell me if you believe that is right. Because to me, it looks like nothing but a scapegoat and a character assassination attempt. Now, bear in mind, during his time as National Security Minister, Peter Bunting came under severe pressure to resign because he was so incompetent in being the security minister of the country. And he said there was nothing more he could do. So listen to this.
It's been a rough week for National Security Minister Peter Bunting after telling a congregation in Mandeville that Jamaica now needs divine intervention in the anti-crime fight.
After 15 months, I am convinced that the best efforts of the security forces by itself will not solve the crime problem in Jamaica. But it is going to take divine intervention.
Lobby group Jamaicans for Justice has been among the organizations calling for the minister to resign, saying it appears that he has given up in the anti-crime fight.
Is he telling me that what he's doing is not working and he needs God to step in? The Lord helps those who help themselves, then. I mean, it's very unfortunate. If you're in a job to do and you want to show up your hands and say you can't do it, then maybe you need to resign. Quite frankly, if you keep doing the same things over and over again, I don't know why you would expect to get different results.
I'm not embarrassed to say that right now as minister, I'm going through a kind of a dark night of the soul.
So you see, guys, this was a man who was incompetent and frustrated because the country was seeing his incompetence. And when he came out and made that statement, it just made it worse because he exposed himself that he's incompetent and people started calling for him to resign. Every rights group in Jamaica was saying, sir, you need to resign. Because when people vote for you and put you there to do a job and you're coming with a sub story, nobody has time for it. Man up, put on your big man drawers and do the work or resign. So what him do? Pick pan dancehall, pick pan Kartel, because him know Kartel was already vulnerable, so he could just get people to turn their minds against him and look at him as the problem and not Bunting, who was in a position and a job to fix it and couldn't. You see the psychology we play here, so? Alright, look what else he did. Now, guys, we all remember when Vybez and Philip Paul will them get back them US visa, right? And we don't see these things happen often. But not only did this US ambassador, the first in history, to come rub out one of Jamaica's security minister. The man come tell Jamaica and tell the nation, say, under Bunting's leadership in the security ministry, when him start to document and report things pan Vybez without evidence.
Party started it when we started looking at it was under Bunting, when Bunting was the security minister. So when you go back and you look at the history.
Remember, you know, guys, for this ambassador to come out, come talk them things that he would have had to say classified information where we not privy to, right? To make such a conviction of speech and Bunting and what he had been doing. The recent cabinet shuffle of Mark Golden, why I don't think Bunting couldn't replace Lisa as the spokesperson on foreign affairs and trade. The US wouldn't have anything to do with PNP. And also, he is not called the shadow spokesperson on national security. It's citizen security. Now, here's what happens when he turns his venom on members of his party. Because you see, he's not very likable, you know. He's not a likable guy. People think he's rude, disrespectful. He's narcissistic, and he hates it when other people get attention and adoration and love that he does not get from other people. So look at how he turns his venom on the People's National Party. He was always fighting and competing to be next to Portia because he tell himself, say, at him next in line. And look at how he destroys the PNP when he does not get his way. You see where he puts his hand on Portia? If Portia was big and careless, he may not take the opportunity. Remember how he used the word target with Vybez Kartel? This is where he started to target Philip Paulwell because Portia was very fond of Paulwell because they had a good relationship and Paulwell did his work and he's a likable person. So when Bunting saw that Portia liked Paulwell, and long before him anyway, before he came on the scene, this is where he had it out. He hates Paulwell. He paid bloggers to destroy and take down Paulwell. Look at his face here when Portia sits beside Paulwell, and look at what Bunting does to Paulwell. Damian, Lisa, everybody, Peter Phillips, everybody loyal to the PNP. Bunting tries to turn Jamaica people's mind and the comrades their mind against what you would call the authentic members of the PNP, the Paulwell, the Crawford, the Hannah, and the Dr. Phillips.
Exciting. And also remember the expectation that the people have on this campaign. A clean campaign. And each person had value that they carry to the table. I personally want to sit at the feet of Phil John Ferguson and learn from his experience. Learn from what he has gained over time. But at the end of the day, they're going to get something Saturday. I'm happy that Philip is in. You're the youngest. You're the youngest of the 4 vice presidency. Is that signal to the People's National Party? No, because I never gave my age. I never once mentioned my age. I think I'm the only one that never mentioned my age. At the end of the day, I was running on who I am, not what I am. And I'm a person who has been committed to change in this country. I've been committed to fighting the system. So the message to the party is not on me. The message to the party is that my type of politics is possible in Jamaica and will be supported in Jamaica.
These are the things he didn't like. He didn't like it and he wanted to become leader because in bad mind and him not believing and supporting other people. So he uses his chump change, his money, and pay people to use social media. He's big on that, using social media to character assassinate people. And they did it. They did it to Paulwell, they did it to Damian, they did it to Lisa, and they did it with Peter Phillips. So his next target, main target, was Peter Phillips. And during the internal election, this is what the women of the PNP said about Bunting. And when fish come up from river bottom and say it stink, listen to the words they said. You are not fit to lead this noble party, and you are not fit to lead this great country. Listen.
Noble Party, 81 years old. As General Secretary of the People's National Party, he helped to create rules by which we all agreed to abide. This, you cannot dispose of your integrity. Integrity is something that you have whether or not you are being observed. He launched his campaign on a platform of integrity. And he has abandoned it for political expediency. That disqualifies him to lead this noble party. That's right. And it disqualifies him to lead this great country. That's right.
Now guys, I want you to notice something very important here. When you notice that the woman them in the PNP come take on Bunting, the man them never come take him on. At least never come take him on as forceful as these women did. If you don't know the history of the PNP, you don't know, say, the PNP has always had these women in there, generation after generation, where these are some solid women. You understand? Them women, them not fear nobody. Them not fear nothing. Them going to stand up and talk. And that is what Bunting cannot take. That's why he does not like women. The only woman who Bunting like are the girl when named Nikisha Burchell. When him and her they know about 10 years. Because you see him with her more than him own wife. I don't ever think him own wife like him. Because you don't see the woman them. The woman them when him sleep with and have picnic with and married. None of them no walk with him. And there's more to it, but one at that time I tell you no. But this time now, him hate the PNP woman them because them take it to him wickedly. And look what happened to him now. He became used. He got used by Mark Golding. Me go tell you now why. So these guys have known each other for a very long time and they're business partners together, right? And when Mark Golding tell Bunting say him for go challenge Peter Phillips and him will support him, Mark Golding knew that Bunting could not win, and he also knew that PNP would not win the election because the party would be so fragmented and not united because of how Bunting is and because there was just not enough time in time for an election to reunite the party. So Mark Golding forced him out for go push out and overthrow Peter Phillips. And Mark Golding, knowing him heart say Bunting is going to be defeated, perhaps lose his seat, because Mark Golding knows that when that happen now, in Mark Golding, I go come in now, come try lead the party. Because we know the two of them belong to proven wealth, and them have them friend over there, them have them plan for the region, the Caribbean region, and so being in the leadership of a political party will give them more of an opportunity to boost their national profile, their regional profile, and international profile. That's the only reason why they are in the leadership of the PNP. They don't give a shit about winning an election. They just want to be there for their social status, to use it to their business advantage. So Mark Golding now, guys, Mark Golding trick him, you know. If you saw the leak, because I saw it, the WhatsApp leak, where they were planning the sabotage operation against Peter Phillips and the PNP after them lose to him, them lose the challenge. Mark Golding was the one directing the whole thing, you know. Mark Golding was directing the whole thing. So Mark Golding might look innocent on the outside, but when you know Mark Golding and know his activities behind closed door in the PNP, we know say Mark Golding is really the leader for Peter Bunting. Peter Bunting take bad advice, take boots in from Mark Golding, figure overthrow Peter Phillips. And Mark Golding only there behind the scene and tell him what to do, and him go do it. Mark Golding know say the outcome was going to be catastrophic. Because you cannot be a good friend for go tell your friend for go challenge the leader 1 year before the election. You know the outcome. You know him going to lose. You know the party going to lose. And that is why now, when all of that came through, Mark Golding used his $10 million and tell PNP people, say, elect me leader, and I will give the poor indigent party workers them $10 million for share up. Now, this has never happened before in any internal politics where a person come to buy the love of the people. So Lisa Hanna wasn't going to do that, right? And you know, in a poor countries among poor people, sometimes these things work. Mark Golding came with $10 million. And for sure, so Mark Golding is basically a white-collar scammer, to be frank. You know how many people are asked how them can get a help out of the PNP $10 million? All know nobody knows no paperwork, no paper trail. So Mark Golding really have $10 million for the workers them. And if him can help more than 25 people, none of them, Mark Golding trick the whole of them. But you know what? Mark Golding is getting his karma, because right now, the PNP has never been worse in its 87-year history. Right? You see, everybody leaving the party. Nobody not really enthusiastic about his leadership or following him, because he doesn't have it. He does not have it. But he has his agenda and his objective. And I am going to leave this part 1. So the part 2, guys, I'm going to pick up with Mark Golding, and I'm going to show you guys what Mark Golding did to the People's National Party that the Jamaican people knew all these years. And I'm going to show you what he started doing by distorting history, by removing the founders, just changing the entire party in a way that is unrecognizable. So, and I think that's deliberate. But I'm going to pick up with that, guys, and I'm going to show you how the PNP party is just destroyed, unrecognizable. Nobody's enthusiastic. And you know what, guys? I am also going to probably do a part 3. And I'm going to call part 3, the PNP always knows when it's going to win an election. Because the truth is, no election is a shock. There's always a build-up of victory and defeat. The PNP is down to 14 seats thanks to Bunting and Golding. And Andrew Holness, who has become unpopular, is still leading them, is still holding up certain momentum in the country, right? So I have some exciting series coming up. Stay tuned. Keep it locked here to Jamaica Politics Uncovered. And make sure, subscribe and share the channel with your friend them. Invite them. Tell them to come over here so come listen to Jamaica Politics Uncovered. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.